Whenever you're ready. All right, now,
Only
cheers.
8% alcohol. Cheers.
Every single person that comes in, I get them hooked on that.
Yeah.
Because I went for a while where I didn't drink, and that was just my savior. And it tastes so good. There's so many different flavors, and that's what we went for. So I'm glad you enjoy it. We good? You on the camera? Cool. So introduce yourself, ma'am. And why are you so nervous?
Okay. I'm Tina La Cochina,
Mm-hmm.
locals' favorite loca. And I'm nervous because I am filled with, anxiety
Questions?
and questions.
So how do you get on stage and do comedy?
I don't know. I feel like it's
Well, let's start over.
another person.
So my name is Gino. I've never
Hi,
met you
Gino.
before, right? It's just
Yeah.
nice to meet you in person.
You know what?
Or did we?
I think no. The Bend was the Bend party was the first time that we've met.
And
I'm
it was-
sure that we've crossed paths.
It
but
was a
we've never
really
officially-
so here's where I met my guest, and it was really funny because I never met you. I think I'd reached out or sent you a friend request recently. I saw the locals list, which is made by the Bin magazine. I saw they put out that list, and it's like here's all the badasses in their categories, and you won I think several years, right?
Yeah.
So what is this, the fourth year?
This was my fourth
And
year.
what is your subject? What is your category you won?
Comedian?
Comedian. So okay,
Yeah.
one. So you're a comedian. The Ben's local list. I've seen your Instagram. I've seen you all over the place, and we're gonna get all into that. But I reached out because I want to talk to different people that are the best of the best within the community, which is kind of what I want to talk to you for. So as we got to the event a couple weeks ago, I'm walking up the stairs and I hear someone talking. And you can say anything you want on this podcast, by the way. I hear someone talking, and I'm thinking, okay, here's the MC, and you're talking about different things. And I'm walking up the stairs at Whataburger Field. If any of you have ever been to Whataburger Field, you can't see up top on the little terrace part until you get up to the stairs. So when I got up to the stairs, I saw you, and I saw Johnny Hotcakes. He's on the turntables, and you're on the microphone. I'm like, okay, it's the MC. I don't even pay attention. But then, as I'm listening, I was like, this isn't the MC. I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, it was very shocking. And I think sometimes when you walk into those situations, because when you go to a comedy show, you're expecting comedy. And maybe this is difficult for you. When you go to a comedy show, everyone's kind of there, like, hey, we're here.
Yeah.
Ready to hang out.
They know what to expect.
So when you don't expect comedy to be happening, this girl's gone off the rails. Like, what is wrong with her? Who let her? She must be drunk. She must be on a microphone.
Yeah.
Did you get that feeling that night?
Yes.
Have you done comedy in situations where it doesn't feel like you should be doing it?
All the time. That night especially, I was standing there, and I think, you know what? And I think I kind of caught some of y'all's reaction in real time
Mm-hmm.
because y'all were walking. Literally, I am doing my set. I'm trying my best to keep people, engaged and listening to me, and people are like literally walking by me in front of me.
Well, like I said,
You
if
and
you're
your
not
wife-
walking into a comedy show,
Right,
it's
and
unexpected.
nobody knew what the hell was going
It was
on.
crazy. Who let her on a microphone? Because I know when you get to these events, like there was a card afterwards when I got there and they handed it to me. It's like, okay, here's what we have. We have Tina La Cochina, and then we have Chris Serna coming up, and we have these different things. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, now I get what's going on. But if not, it was just a really weird situation.
Yeah,
So
and-
you pulled it off really well, though.
Thank
You did great.
I tried my best. It was a challenge for me because I had never been. This was my fourth time winning, but this is the first party I've attended, and they told me it's going to be over 700 people and the Hook Stadium, and I got I'm nervous.
Did
right
you think
now.
you were going to be on the field doing it, or did you know you'd be right when you walk up?
No, I didn't. I had no idea where I was setting up, so I got there early, and Joanne, she did a great job of really organizing the whole event. But I went in kind of blind, and she was like, "Oh yeah, by the way, you're going to be right there, and Johnny Hotcakes is
Just
gonna
start going.
Yeah, she
As
was like-
people are stuffing their face and people
Yeah.
are walking in, they're just
Getting
getting up
drunk,
there.
eating.
They're like me going up the stairs, just knowing what they're walking
Sweating.
into. Oh my God.
It was brutal that night.
Yes.
So on top of the anxiety and pressure, I was super hot, and all
Okay.
of the
Well, I'm
feelings.
definitely not trying to make you relive that moment. I was just introducing everybody else how I met you, and I thought that was really funny. So you had your booth set up. Tell me a little more. How long you been doing comedy? Where you from? I already know, but you can say it. Go ahead and talk about it.
Oh, yeah. I am from Robstown,
Robstown.
Texas, a proud cotton picker. And then I went to college in Kingsville on Mahavalina.
Cool.
And then I got into education. I'm actually a beautician. I'm an
Really?
educator. Yeah. I work for Aveda Institute. I teach for cosmetology students. And the company Aveda it aligns with my mission and values. So it's a really, really great.
Aveda's the one at the mall, right? On the backside?
The institute used to be inside the mall upstairs,
Oh,
but
okay.
now we're at 6 Points.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So what all happens at Aveda? I remember seeing it up there. I thought it was just a hair salon, but it's an actual school.
It's an institute, yeah. So we teach cosmetology, esthetician. It's a really great institute for students to get their license. So
Awesome.
I'm an educator there, but they give back so much, and it's a really great company to work for. So that's kind of like my daytime job is I do, I'm a Veda ambassador. I do marketing for small companies. Do I need to get closer or what?
A little bit closer.
I do marketing for a lot of local companies, so I get sponsorships for my comedy shows at night. So I produce.
I'm gonna blow y'all up, but you're gonna help me out, essentially, right?
Well, not necessarily. People that have actually attended my comedy shows now. I'm not really a roaster. I mean, you heard a little bit of my material. It's all self. It really. I talk about what's going on with me in my life. It does get a little personal, and it's crazy.
But I think that, and just going off of what I've heard so far, I think whenever comedians get either personal or get real or emotions are involved, especially vulnerabilities, and you realize, oh, it's not just me that's going through this.
Yeah.
And kind of like with social media, when you put stuff out there and you're like, I think this is only us, right? We only deal with these things, especially like relationship stuff.
Yeah.
And my wife always freaks out whenever she sees a video and she'll tag me in it. She's like, oh my God, there's
That's
other couples
us.
like
Yeah.
us. Yeah, it's us.
Yeah.
And I think when you're a comedian, at least I would think.
Well, I think that was one of the reactions I did see. Well, I mean, the whole night is blurry, but the one thing I did when I see somebody in the audience that does react to my content or my jokes, your wife was one. I remember she kind of connected with me because we were talking about our dads.
Yeah.
So things like that. Yeah.
Okay.
You don't realize that other people go through those things, especially when it comes to loss. I feel. I tried open mic almost 9 years ago, and then I had a really bad experience with doing open mic.
Well, I would think everybody's first experience doing open mic.
No,
is
the
probably-
first one was glorious. I had a
Oh, really?
yes. The first one was on my birthday. It was kind of like a bucket list kind of thing. I know. And
So
my
tell me how
friends,
that went. Tell me how the whole night
it was
went.
my dirty 30, and my coworkers kind of encouraged me to try it. But really, I had a friend that was already doing it, Andy Gomez. He's hilarious. I don't know if you've met him.
I haven't.
Well, he was doing comedy with Javi Luna.
Okay.
So they were all kind of already in the circuit of doing comedy, having their own kind of clique. And he invited me one time, like, hey, come check it out. I'm doing open mic at Mesquite Pizza downtown. And I said, yeah, I'll go check it out. And man,
When they said come on out, like they want you to come on out and try it, or just come on out
and check it out. Like, yeah, because I mean, I love to laugh and I love to be around funny people, and I'm just drawn to people that are kind of goofy.
Just good energy.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've been around some bummer people. Where you're like,
Yeah, dude,
Not
suck the
hanging out with
life
that guy
out of
again.
me, dude.
Not hanging out with that dude again.
God. Yeah.
so
Bummer.
how did it work when you went up there on the?
Well, it was
open
my
mic?
birthday, so everybody in the audience was, kind of celebrating my birthday. It was my dirty 30, so it was okay. It's bucket list type of thing, and I went up there and I had some stuff written down, and then
You went up there with cue cards,
I went.
or you
with,
mean
like,
written? You mean written down like you thought about, kind of?
Yeah, like kind of, just some little bullet points. So like, okay, let's talk about mom. Let's talk about Rob
Yeah.
Sound. Let's talk about, and I did that, and man, it was so fun. So like a feeling like no other. I'm sure you've done things in your life that given you that high, whether
Sure.
it be drugs or just adrenaline from, having a kid or just something crazy. Well, I haven't experimented too much with drugs or have had a kid, but the high that I get on stage is like no other.
Do you feel that's what did it meet your expectations? One, and two, is that what you feel like you go for every time you go on stage?
But yeah,
That same feeling?
It surpassed my expectations, and that is the high. The high that I got the first time I ever went up, that is what I chase every time.
I would say for most people, and this is going to be like in entertainment world, like you are, or just in business, or life, or relationships. I think a lot of people want that feeling in life. They
Yeah.
want that high feeling, but sometimes just are too afraid to jump. Do you think the alcohol played a big part in helping
Alcohol?
you?
No, not really. Not really. I think more of for me.
No, not in general, but that particular night. Do you think that if it wouldn't have been your birthday and you were celebrating and kind of feeling really, really good, do you think you would have never taken that step to go on stage?
You're asking me if alcohol had a factor? No.
Really?
Yeah. Other drugs.
The way you presented, busted.
Other
Okay.
stuff,
Oh,
but
so you didn't
alcohol.
know.
I
So
mean,
you didn't know what was going on then. Do you remember what you said? Anybody record it?
yeah, it's recorded. Somebody has it. I do remember what I said. It was a lot about my Robstown, and then the second half of it was pretty much roasting, somebody in the audience.
Hell yeah. Is someone you knew?
Well, the Andy, the one that invited me to go,
man.
I ended up.
This motherfucker's the one that got me here. And
He was such a good sport about it, and we had it it's something I'll never forget. And like I said, since then, I've been.
So how soon after that did you start booking a show? Or
No. That was my first time going up. I did like 5 or 10 minutes, and it was awesome. And then the second time I tried open mic was the most horrible experience ever. It was so traumatic that I didn't return to the stage for years.
What was traumatic?
I had a heckler.
Really?
Yeah.
Guy or girl?
A guy.
And someone you knew?
I know.
How do you heckle someone on an open mic? Like, everyone knows those are people that never done it before. You got to give them a little bit of a break.
Yeah, no, this dude was brutal. He was drunk. And he caused a fight. And I mean, it was...
Caused a fight between people in the audience? Or
Yeah.
or you're like, I fought him.
It was a riot. Okay, so I guess we were trying to recreate my birthday, and they were like, let's do it again. Let's go. So me and, a lot of my friends show up to open mic, and pretty much all the tables are either my friends or coworkers or somebody I know, and this one guy in the back, he was super drunk, and I got on stage, and I'm trying to get through my set, this is only my second time doing it, and he was blurting out stuff and blurting out things, and I'm like, what? This dude
Was it throwing you off?
It was, but he got physical. He actually came up to the stage and started choking the girl in front of me.
What?
Yeah, I got intense.
What did the girl in front of you do?
Well, the whole table pretty much got up, and it was a riot. I'm telling you, every single table.
Did he know the girl?
No.
So he just said, "Hey, I'm gonna heckle, and then I'm gonna go up and choke a girl."
I think he was trying to get, like, I was saying something, and I think he was blurting out like, "Yeah, spark it," and yeah, just be. I was like, "Okay, dude, we'll smoke weed after. Like, what are you doing?" And he just kept on, and then he was like, psst, "Hey, psst," somebody in the front, like, trying to get a girl's attention, and I think, she was one of my friends, so she was like, "Stop, Tina's on stage," like. And it just didn't. It didn't. He was being very obnoxious, and. He ended up, it was a
getting
riot.
arrested.
I don't think so, and I feel so bad. I didn't go back.
How do you not get arrested after choking
somebody? It was. I don't know what happened to him.
What club were you at?
Mesquite Pizza. Don't tell Brandon. It was Mesquite Pizza. It was Mesquite.
That guy's probably not allowed back there. I'm guessing.
I don't think anybody. I know who he is now, but
has he come back?
I don't know. Not since I've been there. But the thing is that every glass was broken, every table was turned. I thought somebody was going to get shot or stabbed. I'm on stage with the microphone, and I'm yelling, stop, and he's choking her, and people are getting up, punching him and swinging, and beer bottles are getting. It was intense. So can you imagine that happening?
Yeah,
only your second time.
So how long did it take you to get back?
Maybe like years, like 3 or 4 years. It took a few years, and people were like, "Tina, where are you at? Come out, support it!" And I love comedy. I love.
Well, especially
comedy.
if you have such a wonderful first experience.
Yeah.
And then the second time you're trying to go out, it's like, oh, maybe it was just a fluke. Did you question yourself after that? It had nothing to do with you. It wasn't your fault. But is that why you took so long to go back? You just question yourself?
It was the anxiety of it, the pressure of me
inciting a riot.
And pissing somebody off, because my content is sometimes controversial. I'm very dark. I talk about
dark stuff.
And issues that people are sensitive about, and I go up there, I'm just bullshitting, and people take it personal, or they're under the influence and just they don't know how to be an audience member. They don't you don't have to have a sense of humor. Okay, fine, I'm not your cup of tea. That's cool, but you don't have to ruin the show or ruin the set or get crazy. And so it took a while for me to get over that. I'm still not over it, to be honest.
Let me ask you a question. So do you feel, and I asked this because my dad was a hairstylist growing up. He actually used to have a hair salon right here in the same shopping center. So I grew up, I kind of lived in hair salons for a while. Like, I was that kid that was like blow drying his hair. I was the kid that, understood things a little bit different when it came to like fashion and beauty and stuff like that. And I also understood people quite a bit, because I feel like my dad and most cosmetologists, whenever you're doing someone's hair, you can sometimes get pretty close to people and their stories and their situations.
They open up to me like I'm Barbara Walters. I have people in my chair, my clients, my students.
probably stuff that they haven't even told like family members, right?
Right.
Or friends.
Right.
See, I feel that a little bit, and here's where I'm getting with it. I feel that a little bit with real estate. I feel with real estate, you actually get to see literally inside someone's home and what's
Yeah.
going on, and see things that social media doesn't see, or you
Right.
see things that their family and friends like, hey, we haven't really told anybody yet, or da 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 da. And so it's kind of like, you know, you get behind the scenes looks of people's lives. Do you think that helps with your content, kind of seeing
For sure.
different things, not with like calling people out, with just like the craziness that people go through?
Definitely. I live, I guess I live through my families and friends and my clients and students, because really they come to me with their, hey girl, what's up? Rob's house in the house. You said nobody wanted to claim it.
I didn't
Oh
say
no,
that.
she hasn't. She
I didn't say that. So the reason I was asking that question is, and I'm sure you get a lot of people that do this, is that, and the same with people with real estate. I get a lot of people that come up to me, it's like, hey, I want to do real estate. And they'll ask me because maybe they see something that I do. Do you get a lot of people that come up to you? They're like, I want to do
Yeah.
comedy.
Yes.
What do you tell them?
Oh, I encourage at least open mic. I mean, I got really lucky that when I started going to open mic, I had, already kind of friends that were doing it. So it was welcoming, like, yeah, come on stage. Yeah, come and hang out afterwards. We comedy talk afterwards. And we find out where other places are letting us do it. Because a lot of places don't allow comedy. They don't like what we talk about or the language
They're
we
just
use.
worried what people are going to hear. And it's gonna
Yeah,
put on
and
them.
most establishments are family, and Mesquite, kind of has to tell us to tone it down sometimes, because open mic sometimes will start at 8 or 9, and there's still a group of family,
Yeah.
kids in the audience. So luckily now they have that second location where they actually do big
Adults
shows.
only.
Yeah, and on Fridays and Saturdays. But Thursday nights, we're just working out our material, things that we've written throughout the week, or stuff.
Well,
that,
let me ask you this: do you have certain acts that you feel like are more family friendly, or you're like, nah, I've only tell my story.
I'm only Cochina all the time. No, I have, and some of my comedy, I can change some of the words. I do innuendos that, I can. I've done clean sets. I've been booked for, I've been booked for baby showers. I've been booked for people that are, private shows get really.
Speaking of, are you married? Do you have kids?
I'm not, no.
Do you have kids?
I don't have any kids, but I have plenty of friends that do, and nieces and nephews, and so I gained my experience by that,
You're like,
talking
I ain't
about
dealing with
them.
that.
I mean, I haven't been blessed yet. So.
Okay. So let's talk about some of the pictures I saw on Instagram. I saw you went to the Comedy Mothership.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What was that experience like?
I have some friends in Austin that invite me
Well,
out.
for anybody that doesn't know what that is, can you tell us what it is? I've only heard about it. I've only seen it online. Tell us about it in person.
Oh, well, I guess, a lot of these LA comics have come and moved into Austin.
They're kind of making like a little comedy headquarters, aren't they?
Yeah, it pretty much is. And
That was weird. Oh, that's me. I'm gonna watch. Sorry about that.
the aliens have invaded. Joe Rogan is kind of ahead of that, and it's really cool because comics come from all over to sign up and try to score a spot, and it's a great audience, a great atmosphere. I didn't get to get any stage time, but I like to visit different.
How does that
venues.
place work? You have to like stand in line and get ready to.
Yeah, you gotta-
perform?
yeah.
Because they just randomly pick people on certain nights, right?
You
That's
got
really crazy.
It is. It kind of had a Vegas vibe to it. Every time I perform in Vegas, it's kind of like
You performed in Vegas?
I have.
Oh, really? Where at?
Yeah. Well, I usually go like on a little Texas tour. So me and a couple of other comics like Ana Ramirez and Brandon Dolly, we go out there and we kind of contact some of the bars that are up there already that already have something going on, and we're like, can you put us on the list? We're fixing to fly out there. So we try to, like, Wise Guys is one of my favorite ones that we've done. We have Adam Dominguez. He's from Texas, but he moved up there, and so he runs a couple of venues there. So we really try to connect with comics that are already doing it and say, hey, can we get a spot, or is there an opening, or things like that.
How do you have to tune your act if you're used to doing, say, local? And I know there's probably some local stuff you use and local material when you're going over there or anywhere
Yeah.
else out of state.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the reactions aren't the same? You're like, oh, okay, that didn't hit the way it usually does.
Well, what's funny is that I feel like Corpus is, it's a touristy town. So we do kind of have to tailor our comedy to fit different kinds of people. I do have Robstown jokes, so I'm not going to do my Robstown jokes.
Where?
In Robstown, Texas. I know.
What did she say?
Yeah. Yeah. But the thing is you do tailor your sets and your comedy to where you are. Javi will take me out on tour with him. He'll book me.
Can I pause right there? And I've got to give Javi a shout out. Out of all the episodes we've ever done, his episode was the only one we've ever recorded.
To make room for me. Thank you.
His episode, poor guy. I mean, I loved him. We had a great talk, and his is the only interview that we've ever done where the audio just messed up. And I couldn't fix it, and I haven't told him. I haven't even got to tell him. I was just
surprise,
hoping.
Javi.
I was hoping one day that I get to like save this audio, and I've talked to different engineers, different people that do audio
that can
stuff.
Get it.
They're like, I'm like, no. I don't know.
Golly.
So, anyways, just shout out to Javi because I love the guy. He did great when he came on. I just didn't get to do his episode because the audio messed up. Hopefully, this was.
I just got to see him. He performed in Portland Friday at North Shore Country Club with Ana Ramirez.
Ooh.
I know. I'm there. I'm going to be there. The next one. I'm on the next one.
What did he say the crowd was
Friday.
like?
Well, I went. The audience, yeah, I was there. I really do try to support my other, comedians that are doing it. If I'm not booked, I'm gonna go and support the other comics. And we went over the bridge and went out there. And it's funny because Portland is just right here. It's only a few minutes away. But you're right. We do have to kind of tailor our content, what we say, and how we go about certain things. But it was a great time. It was beautiful out there. So we did it. They did a really great job. They had some comics from Laredo come in. We had a newer local comic, Rob Gomez. It was just really a great. Really, what it does is the production really takes a lot because you have to make sure like your opener, your host, your headliner,
It's all flowing.
Yeah,
right?
that it flows.
I've been to comedy shows where you can tell someone feels very out of place.
Right.
And it throws off the whole night.
It
throws off the
does.
crowd, and usually, hopefully, the person coming in after can kind of clean up a little bit and be like, "Hey, all right, guys, we're gonna start this back up," because I know
to be
that
honest,
person.
sometimes it's set up that way. A lot of my friends are like, "Hey, can you put me on this?" And I'm like, "Well, maybe for the next one, or you know what, this is not where I'm going with this show."
Yeah.
People can't take it personal, or I go to open mics and I see your 5 minutes. I've seen what you're working on, and that set will go great with this person. So
But
if
not
I'm
at this.
booking, yeah, so. That's what I do a lot at the open mics.
One thing I've noticed, and you've mentioned it a couple times already, is it seems like the comedy community is very helpful with other comedians that are either coming up or trying to do stuff and get people on board, almost like a little gang. Is there like little gangs or little clusters or groups of friends that are
like
kinda
in every in every industry? I'm sure it's like that in
Well, in real estate, it's somewhat like that. Like
Yeah.
so with real estate, the way it works is like this office is a brokerage, right? So we have our own realtors and agents that work within our company. And then we work with other brokerages that are either representing buyers or sellers. And so on different transactions, we help each other out. So there's definitely the ones that we enjoy working with. They're like, this
Right.
person wants to make the deal happen. And then there's people that want to make it very difficult.
Yeah.
And so is there like the people in y'all's world that make it very difficult?
Definitely.
Without calling them out, but there's people that are like,
Definitely,
why aren't you
yeah.
helping each other out?
Yeah, and the thing is I feel like since the pandemic that it has changed. The culture has changed. A lot of the comics we help each other out. We book each other. We'll hey, I'm over here in Laredo. There's this other guy that's booking. Let me make that connection for you. So I want to say, since I started taking this a little bit more serious and doing this full time, the bonds that you make is really, yes, it's an industry, but man, you get to know these people and you get personal with them, So we do kind of, I wouldn't say clicky, but we have like who we
Support.
can book. Yeah. We know who can perform. I need somebody that can do 15 minutes. I need somebody that can close this show. Hey, somebody called out. Can you fill this spot? And so we have a roster. And if you go to Mesquite and check out the open mic, sometimes there's like over 20 local comics.
And they're getting 5 minutes each?
They only get 5 minutes each to work out either a new joke.
How do you get a crowd to love you within 5 minutes?
It's not even about that.
Is it hitting the ground running? Or is it just maybe one joke or one story you tell during that 5 minutes that gets them?
I think it's a combination. You really do have to be prepared on the audience because when it comes to restaurants like that, or we have another spot that we do open mic, Panacea Hash Garden on Everhart. That one.
What's it called?
Panacea Hash Garden.
What's
the
nearby?
old school, the Selena Boutique. It's
Okay.
on Everhart. It's kind of looks like houses, but it's
Yeah. No. So if I'm driving
on Everhart next to, I want to say maybe like the First Cash Pawn, and what's next to him? It's across.
how big? Oh, okay, on the other side.
Senor Jaime's. It's So it's like right across.
Do you know what you're talking about?
It's like McCardle and
Yeah,
Everhart.
McCardle.
McCardle,
Yes.
Everhart?
Yeah, McCardle.
I can't think. Is it a big club? Is it
No,
a club
no,
or
no,
a
no. It's a
restaurant?
house. It's a house, but it's it's a little smoke shop.
Oh, okay. Very cool. How many people are in there? What is it?
Like the little houses of commercial property.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
like
yeah. And there's
there's JP's tattoo shop right there, and then
there's a tattoo shop. There's a
Okay.
lot of cool places right there.
oh, and there, is that like a secret club?
It just opened maybe a few months ago, and
Uh-huh.
as soon as he opened, because he first started out in Robstown, so we've been trying to
What
support.
does the
his-
inside look like? Because it'd be really cool if it was like sofas and tables, like you're at someone's house,
He's
just like listening.
setting it up. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
You
that?
need to come check it out. But the thing is,
It's okay.
the thing is, we do comedy outside. He has a whole patio set
Oh.
up. He's already actually had.
That sounds really cool.
It is. It's so fun, and it's a smoke shop, so everybody's kind of hanging out,
Smoking.
smoking. The shows are they. Man, it's a really great production. I have a couple of friends that are kind of running shows out there. Blake and Sean Miller. They tour around and then they come back and then they produce a show here. They bring contacts. Like, we go to San Antonio, Austin, and we are like, hey, do you want to come to Corpus? We're going to produce. And it's kind of like locals supporting locals. These are local businesses that are trying to do something, bring foot traffic. And
What do they normally have going on there? Like you said, it's just a smoke shop. But what do
Yeah.
they normally have going on? Do they have concerts or anything?
well, yeah, he's starting to have live music,
How
local
weird.
bands.
Very
Yeah,
cool.
it's right in the backyard in the patio. He's still working on it, setting up and getting. Right now, he has a few picnic tables, and it's just more like a chill spot.
But I love that idea. I love the idea of
That's
having
awesome.
experiences, and so I think Corpus has been really good the last couple of years, where people are kind of finding their own, especially after the big break. I
Yeah.
think everybody took honestly a big break from everything, and then as
Yeah.
they're coming back out, it's like, here's what I want to be doing. I don't want to be doing that anymore. What I used to do.
Totally.
Did you notice that I posted a photo the other day? Have you seen downtown? How old are you, by the way? If you don't mind me asking.
Guess.
37.
We'll go with that. Yeah. We'll go with that. I'll take that one.
The reason I asked that is I saw downtown Chaparral. Did you see how they're tearing down all the old clubs? So
Yeah.
like Stingers, Dick's,
Yeah.
Porky's, Bourbon Street, all those clubs are
Yeah.
getting torn down and they're building new things. But before then, I mean, there used to be a pretty poppin' downtown.
Yeah.
And so now there's certain things that are going to be
I
new.
remember when all of that was popping.
Which used to go.
Stingers and
Yeah.
It's It 21 and
What's It?
Dick's. It was inside of Stingers, and then it was like a little, and it had like 80s music.
Was it? It was that
It's
front,
inside.
the front right room, right? I remember that. All,
Yeah.
all I remember about those clubs, I was 21 when I first went.
Yeah.
I was probably a little younger, but I remember just like waiting out line, and I don't feel like there's lines anymore to get into anything
Wow.
ever. Like people are so just
Instant gratification. Go.
Yeah, everybody's Amazon, Netflix. Like everybody wants it now. Like
Yeah.
if I can't get in, I'm just gonna go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And it sucks that we have kind of a town like that where a lot of people are just not used to it, and because they're not used to it, and I know in other towns it's normal, they're just like, nah, we'll go to the next place. We'll just go
Yeah.
eat somewhere else. We'll just go do something else. That sucks, right?
Yeah.
When was
yeah.
the last time you waited in line for something?
Sometimes I've waited in line. Oh my goodness.
Either a concert or a show?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I feel like sometimes the lines add to the experience.
Well, yeah, it does. You're whenever I do get to do some of the shows that Mesquite has at the big stage. Sometimes instead of waiting in line, I'll just,
What?
hey, can I work the show or
Uh-huh.
can I help or so to skip the line. But that's probably where the last time I've been in line is. They bring really big headliners, and last year we did Felipe Esparza. Oh my God, he
He's
did like a
hilarious.
five day sold. I mean, not 5 day. It was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. He did 5 shows in 2-3 days, and they're all sold out. And the lines were, out all the way to the burnt down Hooters. Because the new it was a lot of people show up. I'm like, all right, Corpus, you
We need to
showed
turn
up.
the burn down Hooters into.
That's all.
We can even just keep the name. Oh, he's a hoot. Get it?
Yeah. Hey.
I mean, I'm sure there's trademarks and stuff we can't use it, but it would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I forgot to ask you a question a while ago when you talked about it. So the first time you went out, killed it. Second time, heckler, riot, you incited, and then you came back. So where was it where you feel like? I mean, obviously you're doing really well. Over the last 4 years, you've won different awards and you've gone different
Yeah.
places. Where was it that in between, or what was that moment that's
When-
like, I'm gonna take this a little more serious?
Probably right before, of course, right before the pandemic, 2018 or 2019. I was going back to the open mics. I wasn't performing right away, but I was attending and supporting friends, and so I decided to go back on stage when I felt more comfortable. But in 2019, a friend of mine, Max Richards, he was hosting comedy night at the Exchange downtown. And
That's a pretty big place.
yeah, I love it.
It's the corner. What is that? Corner of Lomax and
Yeah.
People's.
Yeah.
Or Mesquite. That's a big place. Like I didn't realize how big that place was.
Yeah, it's huge. And so he was doing a comedy night there, and he decided to move to Houston and was kind of like, "Can you take over this?"
Take over what? Like
take over the comedy
booking
night.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, he just kind of handed me the torch, and here's the microphone. Just do what you want. You're.
Did you feel a lot of pressure?
A lot till this day. I'm still running it.
And what night is that?
The last Tuesday of every month.
It's comedy night.
It's
Okay.
comedy night at the Exchange. That's my residence. I book there. So when you were talking about those buildings getting torn down, that's across the street from me. Yeah. So I host upstairs in that little attic type of room that they have. I don't know if you've been up there.
I never have.
It's awesome. It's very intimate. I only fit about maybe 25 people up there, but I mean, having people right here in couches and drinking and eating, and we're all laughing together. It's awesome. There's no feeling, it's awesome. I guess it kind of correlates with me being in the beauty industry or being in education. When you make somebody feel beautiful or you make someone laugh, that feeling that you get, that's
Well, because you take them away from their daily life, their stress, whatever is going on with their relationship.
Yeah.
Whatever's going on, you can get to kind of feel good for a little bit. I saw this post I made a couple of days ago. I'm sorry. I saw a post a couple days ago, and it was one of those like Facebook memories that pops up.
Yeah.
And it was several years ago, and it was about Salt Bay. And the reason I was thinking about, Salt Bay is, right?
No.
Yes, you do.
Salt Bay?
Salt Bay is the guy that came out a while back. He had all these different restaurants. He's a guy that like chops up the steak and then he goes like this and he does a little salt.
Yeah,
Well,
I don't
when
think I heard you right. Yeah, Salt Bay.
Yeah, when that Salt Bay, when that meme very first came out, it was a few days or like a week later after my father had passed, and it was a long week of just like no laughing whatsoever.
Yeah.
And so I remember, and the reason I wrote the post was it was just kind of to let people know like, hey, you're gonna find your Salt Bay. Because when I saw that, oh my god, the very first time I saw that meme and all the different things that people were creating with a stupid guy doing the salt, I for the first time in like a week had just cracked up, and I just started just
when
really
you think-
emotional.
you don't think you'll ever laugh again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think for a lot of people, having those laughs, especially during hard times, it's like laughter is the best medicine. I
Yeah.
think it truly is.
It really
because
is.
there's times where me or my cousin, there's different people that we work with, even Jessica, like we're like stressed out, but a laugh just really kind of just takes that away. And that you're right, it is one of those fun
You
things that
guys
people get
walked
to enjoy.
in the middle of my losing my dad joke.
I know.
And I think that kind of connected me and with you guys, because after y'all passed, I went in to sit in my booth and y'all came up to me like, hey, I
Yeah.
heard your. So it's crazy how life experiences can happen, and you're going through all of those feelings and emotions. And it was probably the year that my dad passed that I
When did he
just
pass?
said in 2018. So
Okay.
that was pretty much the time that I turned to comedy. I was writing more.
Just trying to get it out.
Writing it out, and made a list of the silver linings. All right, well now my dad has passed, and so this is what life is like after
It's a different
you
life
lose a
afterwards.
parent.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if you're his caregiver.
Yeah.
So
Do you have any other siblings?
yeah, I do.
What do you got?
I got on my dad's side, I have 3 sisters and a brother. My brother's in Lubbock, and then on my mom's side, I have 2 sisters and my brother's in Dallas.
Have they ever got to see you at a show? I'm assuming yes.
Very recently, they did see my show for
What
the
did they think?
first time.
What do you mean?
They don't.
They didn't think it was funny?
My family's funny. I'm not the funny one in my family.
Oh, so they're
Yeah.
Wait. So they didn't think it was funny?
I mean, yeah, they thought that I was all right.
Oh,
Were
were you not funny that night, or they just haters?
it's my material, But they don't, a lot of people.
Maybe they just weren't used to seeing you that way.
They don't
in
like
their
me
eyes.
joking about,
certain
my
things.
dead dad. They don't want me joking about drugs or sex or
Yeah.
things like that. My
Okay, I
mom
can
is
see that.
my mom is super,
Did
conservative, and I talk about
you give 'em a
abortion.
heads
and
up?
I mean, my stage name is Cochina. What else do you? What other red flag do you need? People
Maybe
are like,
she's just talking
hey,
about dirty clubs. I don't know.
people. I gave them a heads up, and I kind of was like, nah, I really prefer not for family to be in the audience, because a lot of my it's from y'all.
Mm-hmm.
That's it's stuff that we do and say and talk about, and they're like,
How much do you, just because it seems like the last, I would say this year, for me personally, I feel like social media has taken a big turn for comedians, where people are going viral faster.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it has to do with TikTok, and I'm sure you've seen certain comedians on TikTok where
Yeah.
it's just the algorithm. And I've told everybody about this. The algorithm that TikTok has is just amazing, because you can watch one video and stay on that video for a little longer than you do another video, or like it, or look at the comments, and then TikTok and the algorithm goes, "Oh, you love this. You
Yeah.
want to see everything we have about it." It's like, how the hell did you get all these different angles from the same situation? Or how did you do this? Blah, blah. And with comedians, same thing. One recently, last couple of months, that I know he's been taking off quite a bit, is that Matt Rife guy.
Oh,
where
yeah.
I watched one video, and then all of a sudden it's like every day I was like, how do I? And it wasn't even like his account that I was seeing. It was like other people. Which one do you focus on, or do you focus on social media a lot?
I'm super private. I'm
What?
like you had to request me. I'm under the radar. I'm a very private person. So for me to even win the Bend magazine, I was in shock. It was during the pandemic where I was totally not out there.
As an
And-
entertainer, why do you have it private?
well,
You can, if you don't have to say it if you don't want to. I'm just curious.
there is because I'm a single woman, it's a little scary.
Do you feel like it opens you up to the weirdos?
Oh, definitely.
But don't you want weirdos to kind of come?
No. After that traumatic experience, I like the people that support me, the ones that are truly there for a good time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need these DMs. I don't need these other
Well,
requests.
you can block all that stuff. You can block like DMs. You can block like.
I'd rather
filters.
just stay private. People that come to my shows, they're like, what? I didn't know about. Yeah, I don't know. I like that I'm just low key. You can't really find me on YouTube. I don't have a TikTok. I don't have a YouTube. I don't have. Yeah, you had to personally request me, and just the other day.
I feel like, see, I guess I'm shocked by that, because in my world,
Everybody gets
the
after
more
me.
eyes I can see, and the more eyes
Yeah.
on me, the
Yeah.
more I can reach out to people and help them. And so, in your world, or any entertainer's world, I would think the more eyes and
Right.
views, which is kind of what we all get paid on now,
Right.
the more attention and views we can get, the more we can demand.
I think
you don't
we
see it that way.
Well, I do. But in my case, my brand, the way I do things is I'm exclusive. You have to.
But going off your brand, if you're Cochina, you would think you wouldn't be a private person. You'd be very out there.
Well, my page is public.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anybody that wants to come to my page, I have where you can find me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be in Kingsville in a few weeks. I'm going to be in Laredo. I have a residence here downtown in Corpus. You can find me to come see a show. But as far as content or
Mm-hmm.
videos or anything, you'll have to check out Gino's
So what-
podcast,
so
because otherwise
that's-
you can't find. You
That's what I
really,
was going to ask. So whenever you're
Yeah.
going to these different places out of town, what do you send them?
I don't.
So how do they know?
Exactly, Gino. Exactly. I am doing.
So you don't
comedy.
have like a B reel, or you don't have like any kind of nothing?
I am living this.
So they're just like, oh, well, the name like that, I guess she's got to be good.
No, I don't think that. In fact, I
Maybe it's
probably
the
lose a
vouching
lot.
of the people that
It's
you
the
have.
vouching. It
asked-
is word of mouth, and I feel like you know more about that. Like people have to meet you or see you or know. Oh, so and so knows Tina. Like knows her, you know, and have met her and know what she's about and what what her comedy is going to be like and stuff. Otherwise, I don't need the extra fluff. I not that I don't need it, and everybody else that's out there and doing the work. I especially during the pandemic, that's what it was. We were doing Zoom comedy. It was crazy. And for me, I love comedy so much that I do it the way I want to do it. I'm private, and if you want to hear what I have to say, you'll have to come to a show or invite me to your podcast and really get to know me. You know, I think there is a big fear of getting too,
Popular?
maybe not popular, because I won the
Too in demand?
magazine. Not even that. It's just I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm not going to be able to be myself or grow. And so I'm not this, I'm going to go viral and I'm going to go here. I'm gonna I go where I'm wanted. People are like, hey, I heard about you. So-and-so knows you. Or, hey, would you like to come to my venue? Or, hey, I would like to book you for a private gig. And it's worked out for me. I've been doing this, since the pandemic, when things were, everybody was non-essential. I'm still working. I was still booking.
Do you think you like it that way because your other job and you don't want it to interfere with that? Like maybe you're very passionate about that and we haven't talked about it enough, but do you feel like you're very
No.
passionate about the other one where you're like, I don't want it to bleed into this
No.
time I'm spending here? No?
No, I've been a beautician for over 20 years. I've been an educator for over 5 years. I feel like I could do that whenever, forever. And right now that I'm doing comedy, the marketing and the advertising and everything that comes behind that is what it is. I'm still Tina at home, you know, my family, my friends that do know me personally, that's, you know.
So let's just pretend you have a viral video go, right?
Right.
Viral video goes, takes off. Everybody's like, oh, we got to get this girl. Jess, will you text on it real quick? And you're like, everybody wants you. Are you going to take that opportunity? Or are you rather just...
I have. I've been...
But just a bigger opportunity, whatever you've taken, an opportunity times 10 comes along. Are you taking it?
Of course.
But why? So if I'm saying if you want that, why wouldn't you put yourself out there more?
I feel like the right opportunity will find me when it's time. If I don't...
But that's like saying, I'm going to catch a really big fish, but you don't want to put your rod in the water. I'm going to hope the fish jumps in the boat.
And it's not even about hope. To be honest, I'm very comfortable and I'm content.
Okay.
I'm
not pressuring. I'm just
No,
curious.
I know you're not the only one to ask me, and I'm sure other people are like, "What happened to Tina? She ain't doing it."
Well,
hey, you
again,
don't know what opportunities are not going to happen. What I'm saying no to, you know.
You're talking to someone that talks to a lot of realtors, and there's sometimes realtors will ask me for advice. It's like, "Hey, how do I get more clients?" And
Yeah.
I'll go and I'll kind of look at social media and I'll say, "Hey, this account's private." "Oh yeah, I got to be private." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I was like, so you want more and more and more, but you're not willing to give.
No,
more,
I don't
more.
want more.
Not you. I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. The realtors. Okay.
So I'll explain to them. You can't be. And the analogy I give people is like, in the realtor world, you can't be Spider-Man and have a secret identity. You have to just be you. You have to be Iron Man. You have to just be out there. And if you're out there, then the right people will come along, and you'll get the opportunities that were going to be yours anyway.
Yeah.
But if you're hiding, not necessarily hiding, but if you're kind of not
Yeah.
putting it all out, then you're only going to get so much.
Right.
I guess the way I see it.
No, and I agree. And you're not the only person to tell me that. They're like, dude, you need to make even like a different account where you can be more public. But for me, I appreciate my privacy, and I appreciate my day-to-day things that I do with people that I care and love about, and not having to put them on blast or put them in a position where...
What do you think how would they be on blast?
As far as just anybody, you know, I even like family members, I rarely post stuff like that because I go out in public and, you know, some of the things I say on stage,
Oh, so you don't want aunts, cousins, family to be like, oh, I saw Tina. She said this, da, da, da. I guess you don't want that for them? Not so much on you?
I guess I just appreciate the privacy of whatever I say on stage. That was just for entertainment. You can have a good time. You can take it home. You can say it at your, you know, your office job or whatever.
You don't want it floating around?
Not necessarily. Yeah, I do like my... Oh, come on, you know. You sound like the other comics and other people that are trying to get me to do more.
I think I sound like someone that just met you, and I see a lot of potential. And
Thank
maybe
you.
the way your
I
friends feel that way
appreciate
too.
that.
If I had friends telling me what I'm telling you or listening to the same thing they are telling you, I'd be like, well, maybe they'll write a little bit. And I feel like you have this certain side of it where you're not letting the other idea of it happen.
I feel like when I'm ready, when the time comes for me to do that step, I'll do it. For now, rocking the South Texas is what I'm doing. I have a spot in Kingsville. My hometown is Robstown. I have my venue here in Corpus. Right here, this is where I'm comfortable and where I feel safer. When I do out of town gigs, even like as far as like Austin or Hyenas in Dallas, or, you know, when I go to Vegas, I'm just like...
You know what I can tell? I think what it is, and this is just me. Maybe I'm wrong.
What?
I feel like you really enjoy it.
I do.
I feel like it's a lot of fun for you.
Yeah.
And I think that the business part of it, maybe you've seen it with other
Yes.
people that you know.
Yes.
And you're like, nah, that's not for me. That's not my life. I
Yeah.
don't want to do that. Is that what
Don't
it
get
is?
me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I love the whole production of it, and that's what I do at the Exchange and for the other shows that I put together. It does entail a lot, but then all the bad side to it too. Maybe right now, what I feel is that I don't have enough the resources or the support to be right there. So I am comfortable doing it on my own at the Exchange and with my comedy crew. Like the Corpus comics are super supportive. So anything that I do, anything we throw out there, hey, let's do an improv here at this new place, or hey, we heard about a new opening restaurant or something. Hey, let's see if we can do maybe a fundraiser or something cool. We even did one for that Cruisers Way out there. We did to raise money for the Ritz. You know, just things
Very
like
cool.
that. Yeah. So even people that from the hospital have reached out to us and we're like, hey, can we do like a comedy benefit? These people are dying. I'm like, hey man, well, that's what we're here to do. Like you said, laughter is the best medicine.
So you go out and do it for the patients? Is that what you're trying
I've
to
had private gigs. Yeah, the family will book me, or and I'll bring a couple of friends. That
Aw,
are, yeah.
into the like basically like a Make-A-Wish kind of situation where you go into the hospital room?
Well, that or a
You gotta monitor those levels though.
private.
If I'm on support, my heart's only got so much to give.
Yeah,
You
no,
can't be coming in and cracking
there's
me up.
waivers. There's waivers.
Your family member may die, but at least they'll die laughing.
Of laughter, yeah, doing what they love. What a better way, right?
I love it. Where can people find your stuff? Because we're kind of heading towards the end.
Private. You cannot find me. Look for me in Robstown. Just take a cruise over there.
So no YouTube.
I'm not. I'm on Facebook.
Okay.
I show my. I have my shows that I'm producing on there. If I'm featuring, if I'm traveling, you can find my shows on.
But that
Facebook.
schedule of places you're going to be is public, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Tina La
You're making it
Cochina.
difficult.
I don't make it. I mean, people that want to find me, they'll find me.
What projects are you working on right now? You mentioned a couple different places where you said
Yeah.
like the Ritz. So what's going on with that? Is that going to be something pretty soon to where there's going to be actual concerts there?
I think they're working on it. I think it was just more like a fundraiser to help restoration.
Yeah.
But the other projects I'm working on, I have my good friend Ana Ramirez. We call her the #1 sales lady. You can look up her hashtag. She's in sales. She can sell you. I mean, she's awesome. But she's a comedian, and she started the one at the North Shore.
Mm-hmm.
So every first Friday, we're going to have comedy in Portland. And then, of course, me every last Tuesday at the Exchange.
Okay.
And then we've been helping local businesses with open mics. We have that Panacea Hash Garden.
I want to check out that one.
Yeah,
That
you need
sounds
to
really
come
fun.
out. That
Sounds like
one's
a really cool setup.
Yes, on Tuesdays they have free open mic. Everybody's out there in the backyard hanging out. BYOB. It's
Maybe when it gets a little cooler because it's so damn hot outside. I don't know
well,
if
no,
you
it
know
doesn't
this.
start until the sun goes down. So
Okay.
8:00, yeah, come hang out. And then on Thursdays, of course, downtown we're at Mesquite. And then from the Bend, I spoke with Johnny Hotcakes, and then I ended up checking out his produce bar.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever met
downtown.
him prior to that event?
No, I had met Johnny.
Oh, it was like
bef-
between him and Dusty, like the kings of downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we were at the produce bar at Art Walk on Friday.
Oh, cool.
And I met Carlos and the manager, and they were like, "Hey, we want to do something here too with comedy." So I just love that local businesses are open to stuff like that. So we might do something like a open mic where it can be like poetry or comedy. Just whoever wants to come and sign up.
So the last thing I'll say is just because going back to, I'm sure you get a lot of people that say, "Oh, I'd like to do open mic or be a comedian one day."
Yeah.
I've thought about it, and
You've never done it?
I even asked Jessica. So this is Jessica, by the way. I even asked Jessica one time. I go, "Do you think I could do it?" And she told me no, and my wife told me no
Aw.
too. And I was like, I don't know. I feel like I could do it once.
Yeah.
I don't think I would be nervous. I think I can work a crowd.
Well, yeah, because you have stage presence, you have the voice. I think.
I think I would just have to get the act together.
Yeah.
And a while ago when you told me it's 5 minutes, I'm like, 5 minutes? I'm like,
That's a long time.
I'm not even sure what story I would tell in 5
Yeah.
minutes.
The thing with that is when I tell.
But I'm
like-
more thinking about it from a marketing perspective.
Right.
Like,
Of course.
I'm literally trying to sell myself to the crowd
Yeah.
and make them laugh. And at the end of it, I go, all right, guys, if you have anybody who wants to buy or
Yeah.
sell, send on my way.
That's exactly what you do. So when it
See,
comes.
Jess? Good work.
It does. It really does. It does. That's how I'm in marketing. I'm in advertising. I've helped local businesses, credit unions, real estate, and comedy just really does help with that. When you have that presence and you can kind of break the ice or, with clients. I guess what I would tell people that have never done open mic is you just have to do it. You just really do have to go up there. For me, I felt like some of my favorite comedians are really good storytellers. So if something funny happened to you on the way to work, something happened with your kid, with your wife, anywhere at school, something that you're like, man, I couldn't get over it.
I need to ask my friends and family, what's the funniest thing that's ever happened? And just tell that story. That's it.
Pretty much.
Okay.
But really,
Chris, what's the funniest thing that's ever happened between us that comes to mind when you think like, oh, there's Gino? What's a funny story?
you're like that one time.
Yeah, one time in Australia when he was drowned.
Oh yeah, I got rescued by lifeguards, and
It came out on TV, right?
it was on a TV show. It's on Netflix. I was that dumb
I
Texan.
was trying to Google you. I was like,
I'll
who-
show it to you later. But yeah, I was that dumbass that went to Australia and got on camera on the TV show called Bondi Rescue because I'm a dumbass and I took a boogie board and I was like, oh, this is fun. And I got stuck out there and the guys told me I was basically going to be a shark biscuit. And the beach got shut down for 2 days after that. I'm not even kidding. For 2 days it got shut down. I followed them on Facebook and they had like straight up jaws. Like they had the mayor put up the chains where you couldn't go on the beach. I was like, oh, it's serious. When my wife told me you can go and I went with Chris and Michael, another buddy of ours, you can go, but you can't get in the water because there's sharks over there. So, yeah, so it's 9 o'clock in the morning there, 10 o'clock the next night here. And here I am like, oh, yeah, so by the way, there's going to be this TV show that comes out. And I did what you told me not to do. And, yeah, there's more to it, but, yeah, it was probably the
But
dumbest
that's
thing ever
exactly how you would really literally go on stage and say, man,
done. I'm a dumbass.
you guys are looking at us. I've been on TV. And you just go into it. I mean, it
All right,
comes
we're
natural
gonna,
to tell
I
you.
think we have a few months left in the year. I'll make it a bucket list
There it is.
thing.
Bucket
You're-
list.
And you're going to help me.
No riot, please. No fighting.
I
No.
can work it out pretty good. I'm okay. But hey, thank you for coming in again. This is Gino's Table. I believe everybody brings something to the table. You obviously bring a lot. Do me a favor. I'm going to give you one of these markers that works here in a second. If you could, I think the silver one's working. Just sign our table for us. We
Cool.
appreciate you coming in. We're looking forward to some more stuff that you have out there that you're going to keep private and no one can see. But we'll make it work. I appreciate you very much for coming in. Thank you so much, Gino.
Thank you for inviting me. I
Absolutely.
really had so much
You
fun.
still nervous?
Yeah.
You're still nervous?
Yeah, you?
Why? No, I'm not nervous. Why am I nervous?
Why are you nervous?
I said, are you nervous?
Yes, I am nervous.
Still?
Yes.
Why? All right, we'll talk about it later. Thank you.
Let's see where